former Labor Senator Stephen Conroy joins us now for our regular chat on a Tuesday. Stephen, I do want to get your thoughts, first of all, on China. Not surprisingly, we got a response from China overnight. This is in relation to this incident where an Australian diver was injured. Your thoughts on the language that was used last night, seemingly in response to the Prime Minister's interview with Kieran yesterday?
Well, look, I mean, you just got to understand when you're dealing with China, you don't believe what they say. You believe what they do. And we know that they were advised that the Toowoomba was disabled. There was a fishing net around its propeller. There were divers in the water who were simply freeing the propeller so it could return to its journey. And the Chinese ignored these warnings and sent out sonar pulses. After that, you can meet with China as many times. You can have as much trade with China as you want. China is engaged in coercive military behaviour. They're masters of what we call the grey war zone, which is everything short of actual conflict. And their response, as always, is shrill, deceitful, and not to be believed. They are not a reliable partner. They're someone who we have to work with, we have to manage with, we trade with them, but they're not someone you want to believe at face value.
So, should the Prime Minister have brought this up with Xi Jinping at APEC?
Well, look, at this stage, he's not revealing what happened in the side conversations, and that is reasonable.
One assumes that he didn't bring it up then.
No, I'm just simply making the point that the sort of discussions where you often see communiques at the end of, you've got and I've been through, not at Prime Minister level, obviously, where you've got an agreed agenda, you've got an agreed talking points, you've got an agreed communique, and everyone speculates and talks about those discussions. When it comes to the sort of what I call the pull-asides at meetings, they are considered to be more confidential. So at this stage, we don't know whether or not the Prime Minister raised it with Xi. I would hope that the concerns were raised. I know the Prime Minister already stated it was raised at the usual diplomatic levels, but for China to pretend it didn't happen, for China to behave in the way it has, just says don't believe what they say.
So this is just an example of, we've got this relationship that appears to be getting better on the surface, but underneath the surface, it's still as it always was, and China is going to continue acting that way.
Yeah. Look, the previous government, the Turnbull, the Abbott, Turnbull and Morrison governments did some strong things when it came to dealing with China. They banned the 5G network. They were trying to get a treaty through which would have allowed China to take Chinese citizens accused of crimes in Australia overseas. That was rejected. The Conservatives almost passed it. The Liberal Nationals almost passed it. It was knocked off. And then the language changed significantly. Now, some of that was domestic politics. Some of that was all about just wanting to make themselves look tough overseas. That's never a good way to engage in diplomacy.
Okay.
The Albanese government has been able to at least steady the ship. We're able to walk and chew gum. We haven't changed a single policy setting. We've taken them or continued the cases I think the previous government correctly took in the World Trade Organisation about outrageous blocking of our trade. But yes, there's two layers here. There's the nice photos, say nice things, but the strategic interests of Australia have not changed, and neither the Morrison government or the Albanese government have remotely changed the reality of what we do on the ground.
All right. Stephen, we're out of time, but appreciate your time as always.